Good morning, ladies. It's Coach Tim. Happy New Year. I know it's New Year's Eve, so I wanted to get this out to you today. So I didn't want to do it too early in your break because I thought maybe you'd watch it and then you forget it and then we wouldn't remember it for Saturday's practice. So I wanted to get it to you today. Please pay attention to these because I want you to come Saturday ready to go and ready to understand these. So let's talk through. Today I want you to notice that this format that I'm sending you is a little bit different than what we did in the rotation one. I thought about some ways to make this more understandable after I did rotation one. So notice here a couple things. First of all, I've colored your position and I have matching colors. I have matching colors for both outside hitters. So this is kind of like your position twin. And then notice that, for example, Sydney and Haley have a position twin with Sophie and Charlize. And Anna and Jordan have a position twin with Ava and Madison. And also Anna and Emma have a position twin as well with each other. So the two oranges, the two purples, the two greens, they're your twins. We also need to pay attention as we're rotating, who's your neighbor? So, for example, Charlize needs to and Sophie need to always make sure that that Emma's to one side of them and that Anna and Jordan are their other side or their backside in this case. So, and then Emma needs to make sure that Charlize and Sophie's one neighbor and that Ava and Madison's their other neighbor. And it should always stay that way when we're in this situation. And then same thing, Ava and Madison need to make sure Emma's one neighbor, Sydney and Haley the other, and so on. So just pay attention to who your neighbors. You don't not so much pay attention to who's diagonal from you, but who's on each side of you or who's in front of you or behind you in this case. So pay attention to your neighbor, pay attention to your twin. That'll help us to stay on rotations. Now, that said, let's walk through rotation two. Rotation two, notice that I did put up a note up here that all we're doing is we're rotating one space clockwise, so that pushed everybody in one position either to the side or to the front or to the back in this case. So Charlize moved and Sophie moved up one, Emma moved one over, Ava moved one over with Madison, Sydney and Haley moved to the back one space. That pushed Anna over one to the middle, and that pushed Anna and Jordan over one to the left. So that's our rotation two home position. Now, that said, the goal of every rotation is to get our setter to the front and get her in position so that once the ball is received, she's ready to set the ball for us. So let's do that. We're going to move Anna up to the front, but the rule says that she cannot cross Emma. If she crosses Emma and gets closer to the net than Emma is, then she's doing a crossing violation, and we can't do that. So we do need to move her up. That means we have to move Ava and Madison a little bit back. We have to move Emma over because the goal is to get Anna more into the right center position so that she can receive the ball there. Once that happens, the other thing we have to do is we have to pay attention to who's going to receive the ball from the serve from our opponent. That means that Sydney needs to be in her position. Jordan and Anna need to move over. And that means that here's the big one. Charlize and Sophie have a big responsibility because not only are they responsible for the back left side, but they're also responsible for everything in front of them. So Charlize and Sophie, you have everything in front of you, and everything on this whole left side is your whole job responsibility. I know that's a little bit to work on, but we're going to be actually practicing and practice how to move up and down in that position. So you'll be prepared for this. So you can see we have three people in the back. We've rotated Anna to the front. And what that does is once the ball is received from the opponent's serve, is that allows us to do three things. Once we send the ball to Anna, Anna can make a decision. She can decide to either set it to the outside to Charlize and Sophie. She could set it to the middle. I'm going to rotate her around a little bit. She could set it to the middle where Ava and Madison could then tip it over or send it over. The other thing that she could do is she could set it to the right side where Sydney or Haley could then hit the ball. So it depends on, does she set it behind her? Does she set it in the middle? Does she set it to the the outside over to Charlize and Sophie. That's her decision. So that's kind of the purpose of rotation 2. Let's go through that one more time. I'm going to put everybody back in their original positions. And I'm going to move quickly everybody back to their original spots here real quick. And let's walk through that one more time. I want you guys to see it twice. Because I know I'm talking a little fast. My students in the past have told me they can tell you when I'm really excited about something when I talk really fast. So I guess this is good news. So once again, the ball is being sent over from our opponent, and the goal here is to move Anna to the front so that we have our setter in the front position. That means that we have to move Ava and Madison over and Emma over, not crossing. Then what we can do is we then have to make sure that we have somebody back here to receive the ball, so we have to scoot over Anna and Jordan, and we have to scoot back Charlize and Sophie. This then puts us in 3 possible setting positions for Anna. Anna can decide to set it to the outside, to Charlize or Sophie. She could set it to the middle, because what's going to happen here is Ava and Madison are going to come around, and they are then going to be in a position where Anna can set it to the middle here, or it could be that she sets it behind her to Sydney or Haley, where it could be hit from the outside in that position as well. So that's kind of the purpose of rotation 2. Now let's think about what happens once that ball does get sent over. How do we get into our defensive positions? So let's talk about that real quick. I'm going to show you here. We're in our defensive position here. The goal here is for us to have both of our setters on the right side. So, and we also need to have somebody like Ava and Madison in the middle. So what we need to do is actually leave Charlize and Sophie exactly where they're at, and we're going to leave Anna and Jordan exactly where they're at. They're perfectly fine where they're at, but we are going to rotate these 2 positions in a defensive spot, and we're also going to rotate the 2 front positions on the right, moving Ava and Madison to the middle. That puts both of our setters on the right side, just as we did in the first rotation defensive position. Both setters on the right side, remember that. That also puts both of our outside hitters across from each other in a kind of an X form, and Anna and Jordan / Ava and Madison across from each other as the 2 middles across from each other. So it's actually very similar to the first rotation's defensive position. The only change is that because Charlize was in the front, Charlize and Sophie were in the front, they're going to stay in the front, leaving Sydney and Haley in the back in this case. In the previous one, it was the exact opposite, where Sydney and Haley were in the front, and then Charlize and Sophie covered the back. So whichever outside hitter's in the front stays in the front. Whichever outside hitter's in the back stays in the back. So that's pretty much the difference, the one difference for our defensive position. I hope this helps. Keep looking this over. Don't be afraid to watch it more than 2 or 3 times. Students told me in the past that watching a video more than once has helped them to memorize it.